Prior to the first day of school, we need to have our graded items set up so that students will be able to complete graded activities in our courses and we'll be able to practice grading. So we're going to do a few activities now to set ourselves up, and then we'll be able to come back and actually practice grading after students have completed some items. So let's start with a discussion. Let's make sure that we have a discussion, an assignment, and an assessment available for grading. So let's start with a discussion. Even if we created it earlier in one of our courses, not in our sandbox, we need to make sure it's available for grading. So when you hit edit, you'll want to come down and make sure that enable grading is selected. And for this, we're going to make sure that we use the grading category completion and Q1. I put a due date for the first day of school so that I have it available for my students over here. So those are one of the first activities. I'm not going to actually give them a real grade. I'm just going to grade it 100% or 0 for completion. That is a non-graded category so that I can use the grade book to know whether or not the students did it or not to actually sync with eSchools. The other thing that we want to do is we want to practice grading an assignment. So again, we want to make sure that our item exists, that we have directions of what we want our students to do here. And again, we want to have a category, Q1, and we want to potentially have a due date. If you want to practice with looking at some of the data, you also want to potentially align it to a learning objective. And then exit ticket. So one of the interesting things about the exit ticket is that we have to always enable exit tickets that we've copied from anywhere else. We can add a due date or not. I'm going to go ahead and do that. We don't need a password. I'm not going to make the students do that. I do need to make sure that completion again is set on. I'm not grading this. I do need to make sure that the grading period is set to Q1, and I can provide any directions to my students here. So one of the things about the exit ticket that we also want to double check is that there are select question types that are auto-graded. So things like multiple choice, true, false, matching, ordering, fill in the blank drop downs, drag and drops, those are items that are going to be auto-graded because you're going to fill in the correct answer and the computer is going to grade it for you. The things that you will have to manually grade are things like short answer, audio, video, file upload, and highlight image. In order to practice grading, you may want to think about adding one of these question types to your first day of school activity in at least one of your courses, in at least one of your assessments. That way you'll be able to practice grading.